Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever truly deep dived into something as seemingly simple as a blackcurrant? Most of us have probably tasted them, in a jam or a cordial, maybe even baked into a crumble. But today, we're not just tasting, we're going full instructional. We're peeling back every single layer of this amazing berry. We're exploring its botanical wonder, the scientific innovation behind it, and its culinary mastery. The goal is to ensure you walk away truly understanding this powerful little fruit.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because the black currant, which we often just see as, a tart little berry, it reveals this really rich tapestry of history, science, and culinary potential. So this isn't just a basic overview today. It's more like a comprehensive guide, really understanding and utilizing every detail of this incredible plant. You're about to discover why this fruit holds such a special place, really, from its origins right through to its cutting-edge applications. And you'll get actionable knowledge from this.
Absolutely. Our mission today is to equip you, our dedicated learner, with quick yet really thorough knowledge. We're drawing from Blackcurrant, the complete preserve collection, and that foundational Wikipedia information. We're aiming for those aha moments, without the information overload, taking you from just being curious to feeling like a confident master of the blackcurrant. We'll cover everything from its botanical roots right up to advanced culinary techniques, ensuring you're well equipped with, well, championship level blackcurrant knowledge, ready to impress, basically.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you're not just observing, you're really gaining the foundational how and why, behind cultivating, processing, appreciating blackcurrants, turning that knowledge into actual actionable skill. This deep dive is really designed to elevate your understanding, empowering you to approach not just blackcurrants, but maybe any ingredient with a whole new level of insight. And this, I think, raises an important question. How much untapped potential lies in the produce we often overlook, maybe just because we haven't taken the time to truly understand its full story and, well, its capabilities?
Right. So let's start at the very beginning then, laying down the fundamental facts. What is a blackcurrant, botanically speaking? We know its scientific name is Rabes nigrum, also known as blackcurrant or sometimes cassis, right? It's a deciduous shrub, meaning it loses its leaves seasonally, and it belongs to the Gracilaraceae family, which makes it a close cousin to gooseberries and red currants. That already tells us quite a bit about its characteristics, doesn't it? And maybe how it might grow.
It's absolutely right. And when we look at its precise botanical classification, it's a vascular plant, a tracheophyte, which explains why it's so efficient at drawing up water and nutrients. That leads to robust growth and fruit, provided the soil's right. As an angiosperm, its seeds are protected inside the fruit. A pretty clever design for seed dispersal. It falls under the Saxifrageles, family Gracilariaceae, genus Ribes, and specifically the species R. nigrum. It's native to the temperate parts of Central and Northern Europe and Northern Asia. It really prefers damp, fertile soils, and it's widely cultivated, both commercially and domestically, which really speaks to its adaptability. The bush itself is pretty winter hardy, but, and this is important, a cold snap during that critical flowering period. That can seriously reduce the crop size. There's even an interesting Asian variant, Rebes nigrum var, Sibiricum, also known as our cyathoform, found specifically way up in the mountains of Buryatia in Russia.
It makes you appreciate the adaptability, but also, yeah, the vulnerability of plants, even the hardy ones. Now let's consider the plant's meticulous design. You mentioned the aromatic leaves, the specific flowering process. So picture a medium-sized shrub, typically growing to about, 1.5 by 1.5 meters, so roughly 5 by 5 feet. Its leaves are alternate, simple, measuring between 3 to 5 centimeters, about 1.25 to 2 inches broad and long. They've got those 5 distinct palmate lobes, kind of like the palm of a hand in a serrated margin. Gives them a very characteristic look. But here's a really distinguishing detail for you to note. All parts of the plant are strongly aromatic. That's a key sensory clue, isn't it? Tells you a lot about its essence even before you taste the fruit.
Indeed, that aroma is a significant identifier. And the flowers, they're quite unique too. Produced in these clusters called strigs, which can grow up to 8 centimeters, maybe 3 inches long. Each strig typically holds between 10 to 20 individual flowers, each one being about 8 millimeters, so 38 of an inch across. If you look closely at a blackcurrant flower, you'll see a hairy calyx. That's the protective outer layer, and it's adorned with these tiny yellow glands. Its 5 lobes are actually longer than the petals, which are pretty inconspicuous. Inside, you've got 5 stamens surrounding the stigma and style of the female parts, and 2 fused carpels, which form the ovary. And these flowers don't all pop open at once. They open in succession, starting from the base of the strig and working their way up. As for the fruit, well, you get these bunches of small, glossy blackberries developing along the stems all summer. They ripen from a vibrant green to a very dark purple, almost black, really. Glossy skins, topped with those persistent calyxes at the apex, the dried bits of the flower. Each berry is packed with loads of seeds. And an established, healthy bush can be quite productive. We're talking about 4.5 kilograms, maybe 10 pounds of fruit annually. That's a pretty significant return for just one plant.
Wow, it's quite a resilient plant then. But its fruit production also relies on a delicate dance you mentioned. Let's talk about that intricate process of pollination that ultimately determines the harvest size, right? So while black currants are somewhat self-pollinating, meaning a single plant can produce fruit on its own, they actually produce a significantly larger yield when they're cross-pollinated by a different variety. Is that right? Encourages genetic diversity, stronger fruit set, basically a bigger harvest.
Exactly. Their main pollinators are insects, especially bees. They're drawn to the flowers. But wind also plays a part, carrying pollen grains around. Once a pollen grain successfully lands on that sticky stigma, it germinates and sends a slender pollen tube down the style to the ovule. That's where fertilization happens. This crucial process usually takes about 48 hours, assuming warm weather, optimal conditions.
Okay, 48 hours. But what if it's cold?
And that time frame is incredibly critical. If the weather turns cold, this crucial step can be prolonged, maybe taking up to a week for that pollen tube to reach the ovule. The challenge then is that the ovule might pass its receptive stage, that optimal window for fertilization, before the pollen tube even gets there. So that can lead to a missed opportunity for fruit development, directly impacting your yield. Furthermore, if fewer than about, say, 35 ovules are fertilized within a single developing fruit, that fruit might just not develop properly at all. It'll just fall off prematurely. It really highlights the precise biological needs for a successful crop. And beyond that fertilization window, frost is a major threat. Temperatures dropping below -1.9 degrees C. That's about 28.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That can severely damage both the unopened buds and the open flowers, killing those delicate reproductive parts. However, there's a small silver lining. The flowers right at the base of the strick. They get a bit more protection from the foliage around them, makes them slightly less vulnerable. Which brings up an interesting point. Why are black currants so prized? Beyond just their taste, you mentioned compounds earlier.
That's a great question. Specific compounds. Is its nutritional value really that much higher than other common fruits, or is it more about its unique profile? What makes it stand out?
Oh, it definitely stands out. The raw fruit is particularly rich in vitamin C. We're talking an impressive 218% of your daily value per 100 grams. That's an incredible amount for such a small fruit, far exceeding many others you might think of. And beyond vitamin C, what's fascinating are the polyphenol phytochemicals. They're present in the fruit, the seeds, even the leaves. These compounds are currently being investigated for their potential biological activities. Basically, scientists are looking into how they might interact with our bodies in beneficial ways, perhaps helping with overall health and wellness. When we talk about these beneficial compounds, the major anthocyanins in blackcurrant are really significant. Anthocyanins are those natural pigments responsible for the vibrant, deep purple-black color, and they're powerful antioxidants, helping protect our cells from damage. Specifically, we're talking about delphinidin-3-O-glucoside, delphinidin-3-O-retinoside, cyanidin-3-O-glucoside, and cyanidin-3-O-retinoside. Bit of a mouthful. But these aren't just in the fresh fruit. They're actually retained in the juice concentrate, too. So you still get those benefits even in processed forms like syrups. This comprehensive phytochemical profile is a key reason for its practical value and why it's so highly regarded, not just culinarily, but nutritionally too.
Okay, so you're thinking of growing your own blackcurrants. Let's talk about setting them up for success right from day one. A strong foundation is everything in cultivation, right? So site selection and planting. Blackcurrants seem quite adaptable. They can grow well on sandy or heavy loams, even forest soils, as long as their nutrient needs are met. The key seems to they prefer damp, fertile ground, but crucially, they hate drought and absolutely cannot handle waterlogged conditions. So you're looking for well-drained but consistently moist soil. That sounds like a bit of a balancing act.
Exactly. And the soil pH is also important. The ideal range is about 6, so slightly acidic. If your soil is too acidic, you want to add some lime to bring it closer to that sweet spot. Extreme acidity can lock up nutrients, preventing the plant from taking them up. While the bushes themselves are winter hardy, we've already touched on how frost during flowering can really hit the yield. Cold winds are another factor. They can restrict the number of insects flying around and pollinating the flowers, which again impacts your harvest. For planting time, autumn or winter is generally best. It lets the plants get established before growth kicks off in the spring. However, if you're using container-grown stock, you've got more flexibility. You can pretty much plant them any time of year as long as you give them enough water and care afterwards.
Right. And when you're selecting your plants, it's usually 2-year-old bushes that are recommended because they're more established. But strong 1-year-olds can work too if they're healthy. And the crucial step seems to be planting certified virus-free stock. That prevents bringing diseases into your garden, which sounds like a very good idea. For spacing in a garden, you need to give them room. 1.5 to 1.8 meters apart, that's about 5 to 6 feet. If you're planting in rows, maybe for a larger setup, aim for 1.2 meters or 4 feet between plants in the row, and then separate the rows by 2.5 meters, 8 feet, or even more. Allows for air circulation and getting machinery through, I guess. And there's a specific UK practice, planting young bushes deeper than their initial level to encourage new stems from the base.
That's right, encourages a bushier plant. Now, understanding the nutritional needs is critical, like designing a training program for an athlete. Each nutrient plays a specific, vital role. Nitrogen, for instance, is essential for strong plant growth, especially the leaves, and it directly stimulates the production of those flower sprigs that become fruit. Phosphorus plays a crucial role in overall growth, in fruit setting, and ultimately in the crop yield. Helps with energy transfer within the plant. Potassium is all about quality. It promotes the growth of individual shoots and increases the weight of individual fruits, leading to a heavier, juicier harvest.
Makes sense. And then you have magnesium, that's part of chlorophyll, right, for
Right.
photosynthesis.
Exactly. Magnesium is directly involved in the plant's ability to make energy from sunlight, and it helps increase yields, especially through its interaction with potassium. Calcium, often overlooked, is vital for cell division and enlargement. So it's particularly important for young plants and buds, helps build strong structures.
So how do you provide all these nutrients?
Well, an annual spring mulch of well-rotted manure is ideal. It provides a slow-release source of nutrients and improves the soil structure over time. Poultry manure can also be used, but definitely compost it first with straw or vegetable waste. It's quite strong otherwise. Spent mushroom compost is another option, but be careful, it often contains lime, and blackcurrants prefer slightly acidic soil, remember. So test your pH first. The blackcurrant is what we call a gross feeder. It really benefits from additional nitrogen, and phosphatic and potash fertilizers should also be applied annually for balance. For a more precise approach, a balanced artificial fertilizer, like a 10-10-10 granular product that's 10% N, 10% P, 10% K, can be spread around the base. About 100 to 240 grams, maybe 3.5 to 8.5 ounces per plant. And keeping weeds down is important too. They compete for nutrients. Organic mulches like sawdust, bark, mushroom compost, or straw work well. Or you could use heavy plastic topped with an organic mulch, or just landscape fabric to physically block weeds. These methods really help your blackcurrants thrive without competition.
Okay, pruning. This can seem a bit intimidating, but it's really about directing the plant's energy for the best performance, getting that peak yield. Let's get into the specifics. Blackcurrant fruit grows mostly on 1-year-old shoots. So last year's growth is this year's producer. Understanding that is key, right? So for newly planted bushes, you prune them severely. Cut everything back to just 2 buds above ground. Sounds drastic, but it gives the plant a chance to establish its roots and framework before trying to fruit, like foundational training.
That's a critical first step for long-term health, absolutely. The general rule when pruning established bushes is to remove all the weak shoots they just drain energy. And get rid of any that are growing out sideways, because they can get weighed down and damaged when they're heavy with fruit. You also need to thin things out. Remove the old unproductive wood, anything older than a year that's not fruiting well anymore. And, crucially, this encourages the growth of new, vigorous shoots, which are your main fruit producers for next year. An established bush shouldn't get overcrowded. Aim to remove about 1/3 of its main branches or stems each year. This systematic removal promotes air circulation, lets more light in, and encourages continuous new growth for consistent yields. For commercial operations using machine harvesting, there's a preference for plants with a more upright growth habit. It just makes them easier for the machines to strip efficiently, less damage all around.
And once you've nurtured them, the harvest itself has its own precision details, whether it's your garden or a big commercial setup. On a garden scale, it sounds simple. Pick the berries when they are dry and ripe. Best flavor, prevents bruising, reduces mold risk.
Commercially, it's far more mechanized and, frankly, quite impressive. The efficiency is fascinating. Most harvesting is done mechanically by these specialized straddle harvesters. They literally drive over the row of bushes, and then they use a shaking mechanism to strip the fruit off the branches. The blackcurrants are collected in these huge half-ton bins. To maximize efficiency, some machines have cross conveyors that direct the fruit straight into trailers moving alongside in the next row. The harvester never stops. It's a highly orchestrated process, like a well-oiled machine, really. A modern harvester can pick up to 50 tons of blackcurrants in a single day, often with just one operator and a couple of tractor drivers. After harvesting, those bins are quickly stored somewhere cool to maintain freshness before processing. But it's worth noting, some fruit is still carefully picked by hand, especially for the fresh fruit market where appearance and perfect berries are paramount.
Right, every successful crop faces challenges, and blackcurrants are definitely no different. They have their own set of adversaries, but understanding them is the first step to overcoming them, isn't it? Generally speaking, rebase plants that whole family, including blackcurrants. They are susceptible to several diseases and quite a few insect pests. But it's not all bad news. There's constant research and development going on, breeding new varieties aimed at overcoming these problems, building in resistance.
And this raises an important question about the specific threats and the innovative solutions developed to mitigate them. Some of these diseases have even shaped agricultural policy for decades. Let's start with a particularly serious one called reversion. It's a debilitating disease transmitted by a tiny pest, the blackcurrant gall mite, Cicetophyoxys brevis. The impact is a significant progressive decline in fruit yield. It's pretty widespread across Europe, though thankfully rarer elsewhere. The symptoms are quite distinct. In summer, you might notice the leaf shape changes, becomes coarser, more veined, and in winter you see these characteristic swollen buds, often called big bud. Each one can house thousands of these microscopic mites. Control is extremely challenging because traditional pesticides aren't very effective against such a tiny, protected pest. Severely infected bushes really should be destroyed immediately to stop it spreading. The absolute best prevention: always purchase certified virus-free plants. Guarantees they're clean from the start.
Wow, that sounds like a really tough opponent for growers. A tiny mite causing such big problems. Another significant challenge, especially historically in North America, is white pine blister rust, Cronartium rubicola. This rust has a fascinating but problematic life cycle, needing two different hosts to complete its journey. One is a rubidium species, like our blackcurrant, and the other is any of the white pines. Now, on the blackcurrant itself, the impact isn't usually devastating for the plant. The leaves get pale, develop tiny orange pustules underneath, sometimes a yellow coating. Fruit isn't much affected, but the leaves fall early, and the plant's growth slows down the next year, weakening it.
The real problem, when we connect this to the bigger picture, is its devastating impact on the white pines, especially North American species. These pines haven't co-evolved with the rust like European pines have, so it causes serious disease, often kills them. This historical context is crucial. It led to that ban on blackcurrant cultivation in the U.S. for much of the 20th century, because it was identified as a disease vector threatening the U.S. logging industry, which relied heavily on white pines. While the federal ban was lifted in 1966, several U.S. states kept their own bans going. Some, remarkably, were still in force as recently as November 2020. Shows the long shadow of that policy. Beyond those two major threats, other common issues include American gooseberry mildew and powdery mildew fungal diseases, coating leaves and tips in white powder, stunting growth. Botrytis, or gray mold, can cause fruit rot, especially in wet seasons. And currant and gooseberry leaf spot, Trypanophytes aribus, is another disease, but it's usually less serious now as most modern cultivars have some resistance.
Okay, moving on to insect pests then. What are the common culprits blackcurrant growers might face? The blackcurrant leaf midge causes browning, crimping, distortion of leaves at shoot tips. Thankfully, seldom serious, more cosmetic. But the blackcurrant sawfly, Nematodes ribesii, sounds much worse. Lays eggs underneath leaves, and the larvae are voracious. They strip the leaves right off. Can denude a whole bush. That sounds pretty devastating.
It can be, yeah. They work fast. And then you have the currant borer. Its larvae drill right into the centers of the shoots, hollowing them out. This internal damage makes the shoots wilt and die back, can really damage the plant's structure and productivity. Other common pests include scale insects, tiny immobile sapsuckers that weaken the bush. Aphids, of course, well-known sapsuckers that distort new growth and can transmit viruses. And lastly, earwigs. Generally not a major problem, but they can sometimes damage ripening fruit or young shoots. Understanding all these adversaries is really crucial for keeping a blackcurrant crop healthy and productive. Let's growers use targeted prevention or control measures.
Right. Just like athletes always seek improvement, horticulturists are constantly refining blackcurrant varieties. This is where innovation really shines, isn't it? Enhancing nature's bounty. Historically, breeding goals focus on a few key things: reducing susceptibility to disease and frost major threats, and, of course, increasing yields to make growing them more viable. This led to loads of hybridization work across Europe in the 20th century, with significant efforts centered in places like Scotland, Poland, and New Zealand, each tackling their own regional challenges.
What's fascinating here are those targeted breeding programs. They've truly transformed blackcurrant cultivation, addressing specific environmental challenges and commercial needs with amazing success. It's a real testament to long-term scientific dedication. Take the Scottish Crop Research Institute, for example, famous for its Ben varieties. Their mission was specifically to develop varieties suited for the challenging climate up in the northern UK. They focused on improving traits like greater cold tolerance, crucial, especially in spring with late frosts. They also aimed for earlier and more even ripening, important for efficient machine harvesting and significantly greater fungal disease resistance. Their frost tolerance was notably improved by carefully selecting late flowering plants, which naturally miss the earliest frosts. Genetic research was vital too, identifying specific genes for resistance to the gall mite and that nasty reversion virus, allowing for really precise breeding.
And the results sound impressive: a whole lineage of successful cultivars. Ben Lomond was the first Ben variety back in 1975, setting a new standard, followed by others for the juicing industry like Ben Alder and Ben Terran, needing high yield and quality. Then in 1998, Ben Hope came out with increased tolerance to the gall mite, and Ben Guerin in the same year, resistant to the reversion virus. That's huge progress. And for gardeners and pick-your-own-places, varieties like Ben Surek, Ben Conan, Big Ben were introduced, prized for large, sweet berries. In fact, Ben Conan and Big Ben even got the Royal Horticultural Society's Award of Garden Merit. That's a big deal for home growers. And the work continues, constantly improving frost tolerance, disease resistance, suitability for machines, fruit quality, nutrition, and of course, flavor.
Absolutely. And beyond the famous Ben varieties, you see interesting niche developments too, like green currants. These are a distinct variant cultivated mainly in Finland. Their characteristics are different. The berries lack that dark color and strong aroma. They're less strongly flavored and notably sweeter. The cultivar Verti is a prime example. They call them green currants, or Vierharuka in Finnish. Then in Poland, the Research Institute of Horticulture has also made significant strides. Their focus has been broad: disease and pest resistance, fruit quality, adaptation to local conditions, mechanical harvesting needs. Their method involved meticulously crossing various existing varieties and even introducing genetic material from other Rives species, gooseberry, red currant, and flowering currant. Then they carefully back-cross the results to R. nigrum to get those desirable blackcurrant traits back. This led to cultivars like Tizzle and Tybin in 2000, then Ors, Reuben, and Tynes in 2005. More is still being tested, showing ongoing innovation.
That's incredible dedication. And New Zealand has also become an important R&D hub since the early 90s, due to its suitable temperate climate. Their focus there is on maximizing yield, getting consistently large fruit, reliable cropping year after year, and developing plants with that upright growth habit for easier mechanization.
Precisely. And remember that white pine blister rust we talked about and its impact in North America? Well, they had to get incredibly creative and innovative there to bring blackcurrants back, leading to some truly remarkable, resilient cultivars. Given that historical ban, there was a massive need for varieties resistant to the rust. Early ones like Crusader, Coronet, and Consort were developed by crossing R. nigrum with R. usuriens, an Asian species. They showed resistance. But these initial resistant varieties had challenges. Fruit quality and yield were poor compared to European strains, and only Consort was reliably self-fertile, limiting its use.
So the breeders didn't give up. They kept refining them. Back crossing led to improved strains like Titania, offering higher yield, better disease resistance, more tolerant of bad weather, and suitable for machine harvesting. Sounds like a winner for North American growers. And even more recently, from British Columbia, Canada, Blackcomb and Tysis were released, immune to the rust and frost tolerant. Shows the research is still very active. Okay, beyond its fascinating biology and cultivation story, the blackcurrant truly shines in its nutritional profile. It really is a tiny powerhouse. Let's break down the facts. Per 100 grams of raw fruit, mostly water, about 82% good for hydration, around 15% carbs, 15.4 G, about 1% protein, 1.4 G, and hardly any fat, just 0.4%. Very low fat. All this adds up to about 264 kilojoules, or 63 kilocalories. Pretty modest energy for something so packed with goodness.
But here's where its superfruit status really comes in. What's compelling is that exceptionally high vitamin C content, a staggering 218% of your daily value per 100-gram serving. You'd be hard-pressed to find many common fruits that can match that. It's incredible. It also provides moderate levels of essential minerals. Both iron and manganese contribute 12% of the daily value each, which is valuable. Other nutrients are present, but in pretty negligible amounts, less than 10% DV usually. Additionally, blackcurrant seed oil is a notable product derived from the fruit. It's rich in vitamin E and important unsaturated fatty acids, like alpha-linolenic acid and gamma-linolenic acid, both crucial for health. And this raises an important question about how history, and even wartime needs, shaped the blackcurrant's journey, particularly its nutritional application.
That's a great point. Cultivation in Europe is thought to have started around the late 17th century, relatively recent compared to some fruits. And historically, a decoction like a strong tea made from the leaves, bark, or roots was used as a traditional remedy. Shows its perceived medicinal value long before we understood the science.
And when we connect this to the bigger picture, its role became particularly significant during World War II in the UK. During the war, many fruits rich in vitamin C, like oranges, became incredibly scarce due to shipping disruptions and rationing. The British government recognized blackcurrants as an excellent homegrown source of this vital vitamin and saw they were well suited for the UK climate, so they actively encouraged cultivation as a strategic food crop. This led to a massive increase in the national yield, boosting nutrition. From 1942 onwards, blackcurrant syrup was famously given out free to children under 2, a public health measure to fight vitamin deficiencies. This wartime program very likely cemented the enduring popularity of blackcurrant flavoring in Britain, which persists today. It's really ingrained in the national palate. In modern UK cultivation, it's all mechanized now. About 1,400 hectares grown, mostly under contract for the juicing industry. Commercially, Eastern Europe is still a major center for cultivation for juice and concentrate. Suitable climate, established infrastructure. And as of 2017, Scotland, New Zealand, and Poland remain those major hubs for R&D, improving the fruit.
And what about its journey in the U.S. after that ban we talked about? It's quite a comeback story there, isn't it?
It is. In the United States, blackcurrants were once quite popular, commonly grown. But their prominence plummeted in the 20th century after farming was banned in the early 1900s. As we noted, because they were a vector for white pine blister rust threatening the logging industry. The federal ban eventually shifted responsibility to individual states in 1966. Notably, it was only lifted in New York State in 2003, largely thanks to the persistent efforts of horticulturist Greg Quinn. He really championed its return. As a result, currant growing is now slowly making a comeback in various states: New York, Vermont, Connecticut, California, Oregon.
Wow, that's a real turnaround for a fruit that was unfairly blamed for something. Makes you wonder about other ingredients' histories.
It truly is. But it's important to recognize the long-term impact of that ban. Several statewide bans still existed as recently as August 2021. And because the ban curtailed production nationally for nearly a century, the fruit remains largely unknown in the U.S. compared to Europe or New Zealand. However, awareness and popularity are growing again, driven by its unique, intense flavor, its polyphenols, fiber, essential nutrients, things consumers increasingly value. As awareness grows, new consumer products featuring blackcurrants are starting to enter the U.S. market, signaling a slow but steady resurgence for this historically significant and nutritionally potent fruit.
Okay, now let's talk about putting this amazing fruit to use in the kitchen. From raw to refined, the blackcurrant is incredibly versatile. Eaten raw, it has that strong, distinctively tart flavor. Some find it quite intense on its own. But that tartness, combined with its naturally high pectin and acid content, makes it absolutely perfect for preserves. Jams and jellies made with blackcurrants set really readily, often needing less added pectin than other fruits. That's a huge plus for cooks, right?
Absolutely. And when we connect this to the bigger picture, blackcurrants offer this whole spectrum of flavor profiles. They can star in sweet dishes, obviously, but also in unexpectedly delightful savory ones, too. For culinary purees, the fruit is usually cooked with sugar first to temper that tartness, make it more palatable. Then it's often passed through muslin or a fine sieve to get rid of seeds and skins, creating a smooth, vibrant base. This versatile puree can then be transformed into loads of sweet things: classic preserves, creamy cheesecakes, yogurts, ice cream, sorbets, many other sweet dishes where the bold flavor can really shine. The strong flavor, as you said, can be dominant. So to moderate it, create more complexity, blackcurrants are often combined with other fruits, like sweet raspberries and strawberries in a classic summer pudding, or tart apples in crumbles and pies. Creates a more balanced taste. The rich juice is also widely used in delicious syrups and cordials, giving a concentrated flavor burst. Internationally, they're common in rugbrød, that popular kissel-like dessert, thick and fruity found in North German and Danish cooking.
But the versatility doesn't stop at sweet. They work surprisingly well in savory cooking, too. Their natural astringency, that tartness and slight puckering quality, adds incredible depth and brightness to sauces, glazes for meats, other savory dishes. Cuts through richness beautifully. They lend themselves to some really unusual and exciting combinations, too. Imagine them in a fresh salad with ripe tomato and cool mint, a surprising flavor burst. Or served as an elegant accompaniment to robust meats like roast beef, grilled lamb, even game birds like duck.
Indeed. They even have a historical savory presence in the U.S. Canvasback duck with blackcurrants was considered a delicacy in 19th century New York. Shows their sophisticated pairing potential. They can be turned into a unique, tangy dipping sauce for barbecues, or subtly blended with mayonnaise for an unexpected surprising in sandwiches or dressings. Their vibrant flavor can even liven up more mellow fruits like bananas or other tropical varieties, stopping them being overly sweet. For the holidays, they can be combined with dark chocolate in desserts or added to mincemeat in traditional mince pies at Christmas. Adds a rich, complex, festive note. Really highlights their incredible range across the culinary spectrum. On an international trade note, Japan imports a significant amount, US $3.6 million of New Zealand blackcurrants annually. These are used for dietary supplements, snacks, functional foods, and as quick frozen IQF produce for making jams, jellies, preserves. Shows their value in diverse markets.
Right. Beyond food, blackcurrants transform into a fantastic range of drinks and even practical household items. It's truly a multi-talented berry. Its intensely flavorful juice is the basis for various squashes, juice drinks, and smoothies that many of us enjoy. In Britain, a staggering 95% of blackcurrants grown are specifically for Ribena, that iconic brand, and similar fruit syrups and juices. The name Ribena itself actually comes from Rebes nigrum, highlighting the fruit's central role in that famous British drink.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How one plant can contribute so much. From nourishing the body to enhancing our environment, even our appearance. Showcases its versatility. Macerated blackcurrants are also the primary ingredient in that classic French apéritif, crème de cassis, a sweet, dark red liqueur with concentrated blackcurrant flavor. Crème de cassis, in turn, is famously used to make the Kir cocktail, mixed with dry white wine, or the more celebratory Kir Royal, made with champagne. Both elegant and popular drinks. In the UK, blackcurrant squash or cordial is commonly mixed with alcoholic drinks too, like beer or cider, creating popular pub drinks like lager and black, cider and black, or the potent snakebite in black, adds a sweet and tart counterpoint to the alcohol.
And in Russia, the leaves have traditional uses too, beyond the fruit. For flavoring tea or preserves like pickled cucumbers, that's interesting. The berries are also popular for home winemaking there. And sweetened vodka can be infused with leaves or berries, creating unique flavored spirits.
Yeah, the leaf-infused vodka gives a deep, greenish-yellow drink with a tart, astringent taste. Berry infusion is different again. Over in the Netherlands, blackcurrants star in a popular carbonated soft drink called cassis. Important not to confuse it with the French liqueur. The version by Hero, for example, has been around since 1938. It's made using blackcurrant juice concentrate and some fermented blackcurrant juice, giving it a unique depth. Beyond food and drink, blackcurrant seed oil finds its way into cosmetic preparations, often with vitamin E, valued for skin health. And for those interested in natural pigments, the leaves can yield a yellow dye, while the fruit, rich in those anthocyanins, is a source for a beautiful blue or violet dye. It truly is a plant that keeps on giving in many unexpected ways.
Okay, let's bridge theory to practice now. This next section is your instructional playbook for truly mastering blackcurrant preserves. We're not just following recipes, we're digging into the foundational techniques and the subtle whys that elevate good cooking to, well, exceptional. This is about developing real culinary skill.
Exactly. What's truly instructive here is how each preserve technique demands specific skills and offers unique rewards. This isn't just about, throwing things in a pot. It's culinary precision. It demands attention to detail, patience, and a deep understanding of your ingredients, from prep right through to the final set. You're about to upgrade your kitchen game to a whole new level with this stuff.
We're going to walk through one detailed example first, highlighting the why behind each crucial step, show you the thinking, and then we'll quickly look at a range of other essential blackcurrant preserves, giving you a full playbook for success. First up, let's tackle Blackcurrant Dakar. This is a true international flavor profile, bold, vibrant, packed with spices.
Okay, for this, you'll need about 3 cups of firm, fresh blackcurrants, then a quarter cup of mustard oil. That's key. 2 tablespoons of black mustard seeds, 1 tablespoon of fenugreek seeds, 2 tablespoons of turmeric powder, 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper for heat. Also, 2 inches of fresh ginger, Julienne, 1 tablespoon of Nigella seeds, 3 tablespoons of palm sugar for balance, 2 tablespoons of Amchura, that's dried mango powder, adds tang and salt to taste. It's quite a lineup.
Right, quite the roster. Now for the execution steps, where precision really matters. Step 1, the warm-up phase. Start by heating that mustard oil in a pan until it just starts to smoke. Then take it off the heat immediately and let it cool right down. Why? This initial heating and cooling is crucial. It mellows the oil's pungent, sharp flavor, making it a much more palatable aromatic base. Skipping this gives a harsher taste.
Good tip. Step 2, building aromatic layers. Return the cooled oil to medium heat. Now toast the whole spices, the black mustard seeds, fenugreek, Nigella seeds in the oil. You want them fragrant and just starting to pop. Toasting unlocks their full aromatic potential, enhancing flavor, creating that complex foundation.
Okay. Step 3, integrating the fruit. Carefully add the black currants to the pan, along with the turmeric, cayenne, ginger, palm sugar, amchur powder, and salt. You want the currants to soften slightly, get infused with the spices, but not completely break down into mush. Stir gently to combine. Let them absorb those flavors.
And finally, step 4, maturation and development. Transfer your prepared achar to sterilized jars. Make sure the currants are fully submerged in that spiced oil. Seal the jars, let it develop in a cool, dark place for about 5 to 7 days. The flavors will deepen, meld, mature during this time. It gets really complex and balanced. And nutritionally, a serving gives you fiber, good fats, and loads of antioxidants from the currants and all those spices.
Brilliant. And applications. Serve it with Indian food. Potlucks. Just keep it in the pantry to spice up meals.
Exactly. It elevates things beautifully. Okay, now let's do a quick overview of some other essential blackcurrant preserves. Each one offers a distinct culinary skill for your repertoire.
This overview really highlights the breadth of techniques, doesn't it?
Right.
From basics to specialized stuff, building different skill sets.
Precisely. Let's start with fruit curds, compotes, and conserves. Blackcurrant curd is all about that smooth execution, perfect texture. Precision in whisking yolks and sugar, careful tempering with warm puree, precise emulsification with butter for that silky finish. It's about control. Blackcurrant compote focuses on gentle heat, softening the fruit while infusing spices like cinnamon, cardamom. The skill is letting some currants burst while others stay whole textural contrast, and cooling it slightly loose as it sets more later. Blackcurrant conserve elevates things, combining blackcurrants with complementary ingredients, maybe dried blueberries, candied orange peel, almonds. The technique is achieving a seamless texture where everything's cooked perfectly, enhanced by sophisticated flavors like Grand Marnier, orange blossom water, then cooled slowly for deep flavor integration.
Okay, moving to more international or maybe innovative approaches.
Right. Blackcurrant dolce involves mastering traditional slow cooking, constant stirring, then gradually adding blackcurrant puree and aromatics. The goal is perfect, thick consistency, respecting its roots while showcasing the fruit. World-class discipline needed there. Blackcurrant fermented fruit explores probiotic science, creating a controlled fermentation environment, salt brine, probiotic starter maintaining sterile conditions, daily observation as bacteria transform the fruit. Understanding natural preservation, blackcurrant mostarda requires mastering the Italian method, balancing sweet and pecan flavors with mustard oil or powder. The skill is keeping the fruit intact within a complex, spicy syrup. Creates a condiment with real depth and kick.
Got it. And for practical applications, concentrated flavor.
Okay, blackcurrant fruit leather. Focuses on concentrating puree, often with additions like chia seeds for texture and nutrition. Then dehydrating at a controlled temperature. Creates a portable, shelf-stable, nutrient-dense snack. Patient training adaptations, if you like. Blackcurrant fruit butter emphasizes slow cooking, often 4 to 5 hours, continuous stirring to naturally concentrate the fruit. Patience is key, letting it reduce and thicken without scorching. Like aerobic base building, blackcurrant fruit paste takes reduction further, slowly concentrating puree to intense flavor, then adding agar powder for structure. Allows molding into elegant, sliceable forms, often enhanced with balsamic vinegar for complexity, displaying achievements. Blackcurrant fruit sauce is about versatility, creating a balanced sweet-savory base, proper thickening with cornstarch, precisely balancing sweet tart elements. Creates a reliable, adaptable sauce, like a versatile six-man. Blackcurrant reduction is pure concentrated flavor, reducing high-quality juice slowly under precise heat until syrupy. Complementary flavors added optimally. Creates powerful impact with just a small amount. Essence of championship.
And the classic fundamental preserves, jam, jelly.
Blackcurrant jam. Mastering basic skills. Macerating fruit, ensuring pectin integrates without clumps, accurately hitting the gel point for a perfect set. Proper processing is key for quality and shelf life. Fundamental excellence. Blackcurrant jelly. demands refined technique. Extracting perfect, crystal clear juice, careful heat management to prevent cloudiness, precise gel point recognition. Goal is a visually stunning, transparent preserve showing technical mastery. Crystal clear execution. Blackcurrant jelly demands refined technique. Blackcurrant marmalade offers cross-training, combining blackcurrants with citrus techniques, softening citrus peel, integrating it with currants, maintaining structure while innovating with unique flavors like lavender. Demonstrating creative problem-solving. Blackcurrant jelly demands refined technique. Blackcurrant preserves focuses on legacy building, selecting only perfect fruit. Gentle cooking preserves integrity, achieving set through natural pectin, no shortcuts. Traditional cooling for heirloom quality, creating something truly special.
Brilliant. Finally, some versatile liquid preparations.
Right. Blackcurrant shrub, combining fruit sugar for maceration, adding herb spices, integrating vinegar for a balanced drinking base. Aging develops complexity. Sophisticated refreshment, maybe for recovery and hydration. Blackcurrant syrup, straightforward but essential. Quality juice foundation, proper thickening, reducing to perfect pour consistency. Adding vanilla off heat for nuance, great for pancakes, smoothies. Game day energy, blackcurrant syrup, straightforward but essential. Blackcurrant vinegar, an advanced method often using fruit scraps, creating an alcohol base via wild fermentation, letting natural bacteria convert alcohol to vinegar over weeks. Aging develops complex flavors. Advanced recovery science, maybe.
Okay, now that you've got a comprehensive look at all these techniques, these plays, let's talk about the game day strategy, the behind-the-scenes work that turns good intentions into truly exceptional championship results. This isn't just about individual recipes anymore, it's about a holistic approach to culinary excellence. Planning, execution, evaluation.
Absolutely. This section, the instructional summary, is crucial. It connects all those individual techniques to a bigger picture, emphasizing that true mastery comes from integrating everything. Equipment, safety, time, budget, even social and nutritional angles. You're not just making preserves here, you're developing a comprehensive skill set that goes way beyond just the ingredients themselves.
Let's start with your essential equipment for precision. It's not just about having tools, it's having the right tools and knowing how to use them precisely. Professional-grade thermometer is crucial for exact temperatures for safety and texture. No guessing. A digital scale vital for consistent measurements, repeatable results. Like tracking stats. pH strips essential for food safety monitoring. Proper pH ensures a safe preserve. Like trainers monitoring health. For advanced fermentation, proper vessels with airlock systems creates the ideal environment. Competitive advantage equipment. And finally, quality storage containers with accurate labeling. Everything organized, identified with batch dates. Prevents confusion, waste, like organized equipment managers.
Moving into crucial food safety standards. These are absolutely non-negotiable. Your culinary integrity depends on them. Sterilize all equipment jars, lids, utensils before use. Clean, safe environment, no contaminants. Maintaining training facilities. Closely monitor temperatures and timing throughout the process. Vital for killing pathogens. Achieving proper set. Tracking athlete performance. Always follow established preservation protocols, water bath canning for jams, etc. Team rules for safe performance. Label everything clearly. Batch dates, contents. Know what you have when it was made. Allows proper rotation. Equipment inventory. And store preserves optimally cooled, dark places. Preserves quality, flavor, safety long-term. Maintaining championship facilities.
Your strategic time management is also key. Reflects a methodical approach. Quick options like compote or syrup. About 30-45 minutes, good for game day prep. Medium complexity preserves, jams, chutneys, maybe 1-2 hour training sessions. Focused effort. Advanced techniques like confit, fermentation, these demand longer commitment. Days, even weeks of patient waiting, observation, season-long development. And those truly complex projects, vinegars, sophisticated conserves, might need multi-season dedication, aging for months. Planning projects around seasonal availability and your time is paramount. Off-season prep maximizes in-season performance.
When it comes to your smart budget planning, efficiency is key. Buy blackcurrants during peak season. Best quality, best price when abundant. Acquiring talent at optimal value. Bulk purchasing and preserving extends ingredients year-round. Makes them available whenever needed. Investment in quality equipment pays off over time. Better tools mean better, consistent results, greater efficiency. Training facilities develop champions. Proper technique significantly reduces waste. Get the most from every berry. Efficient systems maximize resource use. Ultimately, homemade quality preserves often cost way less than premium store-bought ones. Economic edge, superior taste.
Beyond the kitchen, think about community and social applications, how your skills connect with others. Gift premium preserves in professional packaging, like championship rings representing achievement. Host tastings demonstrating your skills and knowledge. Share your success. Let others learn. Contribute to gatherings with your unique preserves. Become a culinary contributor. Share knowledge with friends who want to develop skills. Foster a community of learners. And create signature preserves that define your culinary identity. Your legendary calling card.
For ongoing performance tracking and development, continuous evaluation is vital for growth. Monitor batch consistency across all preserves. Identify strengths, areas for improvement. Tracking performance stats. Always taste test results against high standards. Refuse mediocrity. Critical evaluation is key. Document successful techniques, ingredients, methods. Build a detailed playbook for repetition and improvement. Track seasonal ingredient availability. Scout optimal performance conditions. And regularly evaluate storage and preservation success. Learn from every batch to refine methods, extend shelf life. Postseason analysis.
And critically, integrating nutrition into your practice. Understanding the science behind your food. Understand antioxidant density for health benefits, how compounds support well-being. Consider natural sugar content for energy-fueling strategies, craft balanced products. Monitor fiber intake for digestive health. A healthy gut supports vitality. Incorporate probiotic options from fermented products for gut health, tapping into nutritional science. It's about balancing deliciousness with beneficial nutrition. A sustainable, enjoyable approach supporting well-being. Athletes enjoying food while maintaining peak condition.
This Blackcurrant Preserve collection, and really this entire deep dives, represents a journey into comprehensive kitchen skills. Elevating your culinary craft. Successfully executing these techniques demonstrates dedication, precision, skill development that earns respect. This is about building kitchen competence that creates signature dishes, builds a foundation for lifetime achievement in food prep and preservation. You're not just making preserves, you're developing essential culinary skills that will serve you throughout your entire cooking journey. #tag OutraWell.
So what does this all mean for you, our dedicated learner? We've gone from the blackcurrant's deep botanical roots right through to its incredible nutritional punch. We navigated its fascinating history, cultivation challenges, battled pests and diseases, and finally explored that diverse array of culinary applications and foundational preservation techniques. You've just taken an extensive instructional journey, uncovering every delicious detail of this amazing berry, giving you a comprehensive understanding to apply.
And when we connect this to the bigger picture, you now have a comprehensive playbook, not just for blackcurrants, but for approaching any ingredient with curiosity, precision, and, well, a master's mindset. Knowledge, when it's understood and applied, becomes this incredibly powerful tool, transforms your culinary capabilities, your critical thinking, which I think raises an important question. Now that you've seen the depth and versatility of the humble blackcurrant, what other seemingly simple ingredients in your pantry right now are just waiting for their own deep dive, their own instruction manual to be uncovered and mastered?
That's a perfect thought to leave you with. We really encourage you to apply this newfound knowledge, experiment boldly in your own kitchens, and share your blackcurrant creations, your championship creations, with friends and family. Go forth and deepen your own knowledge, one delicious detail at a time.